Every 40 seconds, someone suffers a heart attack. Think about that. By the time you've reached this point in the video, another life has changed forever. For people over 60, the numbers get even more alarming. 1 in 3 adults in this age group will experience a cardiovascular emergency in their lifetime. And here's the part that haunts me. More than half of these incidents happen when the person is completely alone. No one to see the signs, no one to pick up the phone, no one to call for help. I know what you're thinking. That's not going to happen to me. I used to think the same. I wasn't the kind of person who ignored my health. I exercised 3 times a week. I watched what I ate most of the time, and I didn't smoke. But what I didn't realize was that heart disease doesn't play fair. It doesn't follow the rules. It doesn't care how prepared you think you are. I learned that the hard way one morning in my kitchen. It started small. I was standing by the counter, pouring a cup of coffee, when I felt this strange tight sensation in my chest. Not painful, just odd. I brushed it off. Maybe I slept funny, I thought. Or maybe it was the coffee, too much caffeine on an empty stomach. I even laughed it off, thinking I was being dramatic. But the feeling didn't go away. It got worse. The tightness turned into pressure, like someone was sitting on my chest. My arm started to ache, not sharply, just this dull, radiating discomfort that crawled from my shoulder down to my fingers. And then came the dizziness. I reached out to steady myself on the counter, but the room felt like it was tilting. In that moment, a terrifying thought crossed my mind. Is this a heart attack? I was alone. There was no one in the house to ask for help, no one to call an ambulance for me. Just me, my phone on the counter, and this growing sense of urgency. I'll be honest with you, panic was my first instinct. My heart was pounding, my hands were shaking, and a part of me wanted to scream for help even though I knew no one would hear me. But then, something clicked. I remembered something I'd read years ago. It was an article about what to do if you're having a heart attack when you're alone. I didn't pay much attention to it back then. Why would I? I never thought I'd need it. But in that moment, those words came rushing back to me like a lifeline. Step 1, call for help. Even if you're alone, you have to call 911. I grabbed my phone, fumbled to unlock it, and dialed. My voice was shaky, but I managed to get the words out. I think I'm having a heart attack. The operator stayed on the line with me, guiding me through what to do next. That was step 2, stay calm and conserve your energy. I remember sitting down on the floor, leaning forward slightly to relieve the pressure on my chest. It didn't stop the pain, but it helped me focus. And then there was step 3, take an aspirin if you have it. Luckily, I did. I chewed it slowly, just like the article said, to help it absorb faster into my bloodstream. Every second felt like an hour, but I kept reminding myself to breathe, slow deep breaths to keep myself grounded. And finally, step 4, wait. The hardest part, knowing that every second counts, but all you can do is hold on and trust that help is on the way. That morning changed everything for me. I made it through, but not because of luck or coincidence. I survived because I knew what to do. And that's why I'm here today, to share this with you. Because if a heart attack strikes and you're alone, what you do in those critical moments could mean the difference between surviving or becoming another statistic. So let me ask you, if your heart stopped working right now, would you know how to save yourself? Would you know how to fight back against time and odds when no one else is there to help you? Now, let's get straight to the point. Surviving a heart attack when you're alone isn't about luck, it's about knowing what to do and acting fast. In this video, I'm going to guide you through essential, science-backed steps that can dramatically increase your chances of survival. These steps are practical, easy to remember, and they work. It's knowledge that could one day save your life. Think about it. Every year, thousands of lives are lost simply because people don't know how to respond in those critical moments. But you don't have to be part of that statistic. You don't need expensive tools or years of training, just a clear plan and the confidence to act. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share isn't just advice, it's a survival toolkit. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to recognize the signs of a heart attack, what actions to take immediately, and how to give yourself the best possible chance of staying alive until help arrives. Let's take a moment to picture a very real scenario. It's a morning like any other. The sun is peeking through the windows, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee fills the air. You're sitting in your favorite chair, maybe flipping through the newspaper or catching up on your favorite show. Life feels calm, predictable, safe, but then, out of nowhere, something shifts. At first, it's so subtle you barely notice it, just a strange tightness in your chest. You adjust your posture, thinking maybe you've been sitting too long, but the feeling doesn't go away. Instead, it grows. It feels like someone's pressing down on your chest, harder and harder with every passing second. You take a deep breath, hoping to shake it off, but now your arm starts to tingle, a dull, creeping ache that stretches down to your fingers. You feel lightheaded, and a cold sweat breaks out on your forehead. That's when it hits you. This isn't normal. Something's wrong. This exact moment happened to John, a 67-year-old retired teacher, just last year. John was healthy for his age. He took walks every evening, ate his vegetables, and never smoked a day in his life. But none of that mattered when he found himself alone in his living room, clutching his chest, struggling to breathe. In that moment, panic started to set in, and why wouldn't it? The reality of being completely alone during a heart attack is terrifying. But here's the thing about John. He didn't panic. Instead, he remembered something he had learned years before. He remembered the steps. The knowledge he had tucked away, almost forgotten, came rushing back when he needed it most. He called 911, stayed as calm as he could, and followed the actions that gave him the best chance to survive. And you know what? He did survive, because he was prepared. Now let's flip this scenario for a second. Imagine John hadn't known what to do. Imagine he let fear take over, froze in confusion, or hesitated to act. The outcome could have been tragically different. And sadly, that's the reality for thousands of people every single year. Heart attacks are one of the leading causes of death, especially for seniors. But what most people don't realize is this: being prepared can change everything. Knowing how to respond, staying calm, and taking the right steps can dramatically increase your chances of survival. John is living proof of that. He's still walking his favorite trails, spending time with his grandchildren, and enjoying every sunrise because he knew what to do when it mattered most. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today. Because the truth is, preparation isn't just about peace of mind. It's about survival. You don't have to be helpless in the face of a heart attack. With the right knowledge and actions, you can take control of the situation and give yourself a fighting chance. The first and most crucial step is recognizing the signs of a heart attack. Many people ignore these early warnings, thinking they'll pass. But the truth is, your body sends out clear distress signals. You just have to know how to listen. Let's go over the most common symptoms: chest pain or pressure that feels like an elephant sitting on your chest, shortness of breath, even if you're not exerting yourself, nausea or a sudden upset stomach, dizziness or lightheadedness that makes you feel like you're about to faint, and pain or discomfort that radiates to your jaw, neck, arms, or back. These are your body's red flags, and they're telling you to act fast. Don't dismiss them. Don't wait to see if they go away, and don't convince yourself it's nothing. The earlier you recognize these symptoms and take action, the better your chances of survival. Remember, every minute you delay increases the risk of irreversible damage to your heart. Here's a helpful tip. If you've ever had these symptoms in the past, even if they went away, it's worth talking to your doctor. Early detection can save you from an even bigger emergency later. The second step is non-negotiable. Call for help. The very first thing you should do, as soon as you suspect a heart attack, is dial 911 or your local emergency number. This step is critical because emergency responders are trained to provide immediate care that can stabilize your condition before you even reach the hospital. Here's what you need to do. Grab your phone, call for help, and put the call on speaker. This allows you to keep your hands free to follow the next steps while staying connected to the dispatcher. They'll guide you through what to do and keep you focused. Now, I know some people hesitate at this step. Maybe you're worried it's a false alarm, or you don't want to feel embarrassed if it turns out to be something minor. Let me be clear. When it comes to your heart, there's no such thing as overreacting. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Paramedics would much rather arrive to find you safe than arrive too late. Let's address a common question. What about cough CPR? You may have heard that forcefully coughing can help maintain circulation during a heart attack if you're alone. Here's the truth. This technique is not a substitute for traditional CPR, and it's not officially recommended by most health organizations. However, in specific cases, it might help temporarily. Here's how it works. The idea is to take a deep breath and cough forcefully every couple of seconds. The theory is that this can keep blood circulating to your brain and other vital organs while you wait for help. But let me emphasize, this should only be used as a last resort, and only if you're conscious and able to perform it. If you feel faint or are losing consciousness, your priority is to stay as calm and still as possible. While there's debate around its effectiveness, knowing it exists can be helpful if you find yourself in a desperate situation. That said, don't rely on this alone. Your best chance is calling for professional help immediately and following all other steps. The final step is all about managing your body and mind. When you're experiencing a heart attack, your heart is under immense strain. Your job is to reduce that strain as much as possible while waiting for help to arrive. First, stay calm. I know that sounds easier said than done, but panic only makes things worse. Your body needs oxygen, so focus on slow, deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a second, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This will help regulate your breathing and keep you from hyperventilating. Next, get into the right position. Sit down or lie back with your upper body elevated. You can use pillows, a recliner, or even the armrest of a couch. This position reduces the workload on your heart and helps improve blood flow. Whatever you do, avoid walking or moving around unnecessarily. It can put additional stress on your heart and worsen the situation. If you have aspirin nearby, chew it, not swallow it whole. Chewing allows it to enter your bloodstream faster and can help thin your blood, improving circulation to your heart. And finally, don't lose hope. Every second you stay calm and follow these steps increases your chances of survival. Help is on the way, and your actions in these critical moments are what matter most. These 4 steps, recognizing the symptoms, calling for help, considering cough CPR as a last resort, and positioning yourself strategically, form a clear, simple plan that can save your life. Remember, it's not about being fearless, it's about being prepared. Let's take a moment to talk about something most of us don't like to think about. Fear. Because that's what a heart attack is, isn't it? It's fear. The fear of losing control over your own body. The fear of being alone when you need someone the most. The fear of realizing that time is slipping away faster than you can act. If you've ever let your mind wander into that terrifying what-if scenario, you're not alone. We've all been there. It's a deeply human feeling. Now, imagine being in that exact moment. You feel the pressure in your chest, the dizziness, the pain radiating down your arm. You're scared, you're overwhelmed, and for a split second, panic takes over. Your hands shake, your mind races, and that voice inside your head starts whispering, "What do I do? Am I going to make it?" It's a scenario no one wants to face, but it's a reality that so many people have had to confront. And yet, here's what I want you to know about fear. It's normal. It's okay to feel scared. In fact, it's human to feel scared. But fear doesn't have to control the situation. In those critical moments, fear isn't your enemy. Inaction is. And that's where knowledge becomes your most powerful tool. Because when you know what to do, when you have a plan, fear turns into focus. You stop spiraling into what-ifs and start taking steps, real, actionable steps, to save your life. I know this because I've heard the stories. Stories of people who felt that same crushing fear, but overcame it because they were prepared. Like John, the retired teacher I mentioned earlier. He was scared, of course he was. But he didn't let fear paralyze him. Instead, he remembered what he had learned and acted. He dialed 911. He positioned himself to relieve the strain on his heart. He stayed calm, even when his body was screaming at him to panic. And because of that, he's still here today. He's still enjoying his morning walks. He's still laughing with his grandchildren. That's the power of preparation. But let's also acknowledge something else. Fear doesn't just come from the heart attack itself. For many people, there's a deeper fear. What if I don't remember what to do? What if I make a mistake? And if you've had that thought, let me reassure you. You're already taking the most important step right now by learning. By understanding the signs, by internalizing the steps, you're giving yourself a foundation to act. And the truth is, when the moment comes, you'll surprise yourself. You'll remember. You'll take control. Because deep down, we're all stronger and more resilient than we think. Think about everything you've already overcome in your life. Think about the challenges you faced, the obstacles you've worked through. You didn't always have the answers at the start, but you figured it out. And this moment is no different. It's not about being fearless, it's about being prepared. Fear is just a signal, a reminder to focus on what matters most, your survival. And let's not forget, this isn't just about survival, it's about what you're surviving for. The moments that make life worth living. The smiles of your grandchildren, the warmth of a loved one's hug, the quiet joy of watching the sunrise. Those moments are why this knowledge matters. Those moments are why you fight. Because every breath, every second, every action you take during a heart attack is a step toward protecting the life you've built and the people who love you. Now, I know some of you might still be thinking, but what if it's too late? What if I can't do enough? And to that, I say this. Every step you take matters. Even small actions can make a big difference. Calling for help, staying calm, positioning yourself strategically. These aren't just steps, they're lifelines. And the more you focus on what you can do, the more power you reclaim from the fear. You're not powerless. Far from it. You're stronger, braver, and more capable than you give yourself credit for. And by watching this, by learning these steps, you're already taking charge of your health and your future. You're already making a choice to be prepared, to be proactive, and to protect yourself and the people you love. That choice alone makes all the difference. So yes, the thought of a heart attack is terrifying, but you don't have to face it unprepared. You now have the knowledge, the tools, and the steps to take control in the scariest of moments. Remember this. You have the power to save your own life. And when the time comes, if it ever comes, you'll be ready. Now, as we've been talking, you might have been picturing these steps in your mind. What it looks like to recognize the symptoms, to call for help, to position yourself strategically. But let me make it easier for you. On your screen, you'll see diagrams that clearly show the common signs of a heart attack. Chest pressure, shortness of breath, pain radiating down the arm. Take a good look and really commit these visuals to memory. They might help you recognize these symptoms, either in yourself or someone you care about when it matters most. And as we move through the steps, I want you to see exactly what I mean. Watch here as we demonstrate how to dial for help and put the phone on speaker so you can stay hands-free. Or here, where you can see the proper sitting position, leaning forward slightly with your back supported to reduce strain on your heart. These animations are designed to make the process simple and clear, so you can visualize what to do in the moment. Because let's face it, when stress is high, it's the images that stay with us, even when words fade away. And here's where I need your help. If you found these tips helpful so far, please take a moment to tap the like button. Not only does it tell me that this information is valuable to you, but it also helps others discover this video. You could be helping someone out there learn the steps that might save their life one day. It's a small action, but it can make a huge difference. And now, let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever faced an emergency like this? Maybe it wasn't a heart attack, but a moment when you had to act quickly, when the stakes were high. Share your story in the comments. Not only will it inspire others, but it will also show just how powerful preparation and quick thinking can be. You never know. Your story could be the encouragement someone else needs to take these steps seriously. And if you're sitting there thinking, I'll never remember all of this, don't worry, that's why we're here. Watch this video as many times as you need. Save it, share it, and keep it as a resource for yourself and others. The more we talk about these life-saving steps, the more lives we can potentially save together. Now that you've learned these critical steps for surviving a heart attack when you're alone, Let me ask you this. Who else in your life could benefit from this knowledge? A family member, a close friend, a neighbor? Don't keep this information to yourself. Share this video with the people you care about most. You never know whose life it might save. It's a small action that could have a huge impact. And here's something else to consider. Preparation doesn't stop here. There's so much more to learn about staying safe, healthy, and prepared for life's unexpected moments. If this video resonated with you, if it helped you feel even a little more prepared, I want to invite you to join our community. Subscribe to this channel for more practical tips, life-saving advice, and wisdom to help you navigate the moments that matter most. And don't stop here. Our next video dives deeper into simple habits that can keep your heart healthy and strong for years to come. Because it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, about living your best life and staying here for the moments that truly matter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being proactive about your health, and thank you for being part of this journey. Until next time, take care of your heart, take care of yourself, and take care of each other. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. Your heart is the engine that keeps you going. It's the rhythm behind every laugh, every hug, every moment you share with the people you love. And while life can throw unexpected challenges your way, you have something incredibly powerful on your side. Your ability to prepare, to stay calm, and to take action when it matters most. Think about what you've learned today. These steps aren't just information, they're tools. Tools that give you the power to take control even in life's scariest moments. You've already taken an important step just by being here, by choosing to educate yourself and prioritize your health. And that's something to feel proud of. So, here's my message to you. Don't let fear dictate the story. Instead, let preparation and confidence guide the way. You have more strength than you realize, and the steps you've learned today are a testament to that strength. Whether it's for yourself or someone you care about, this knowledge is a gift, one that can make all the difference. Take care of your heart, because it's not just about survival, it's about living. Living for the little joys, the big milestones, and everything in between. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're building this community together, one step at a time. Thank you for watching, for being proactive, and for choosing to invest in your well-being. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore even more ways to live smarter, healthier, and stronger. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of your heart, and keep moving forward.